Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 58. Brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also, we are live on YouTube, courtesy of the S&B Network. Make sure you go ahead, smash that like button, share out the link. Let's grow the live chat. It is a bye week. We're not expecting a big crowd, but let's share it out. Let's grow it, see who will come and hang out. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Vols JP.
And I'm Dauber. What's happening?
We are at Talkin VAWLS_pod on Twitter. Just search Talkin VAWLS on Facebook. Man, you know how I know we have haters? We have haters because we already have a thumbs down and we just went live. We are off and running, guys. Help us out. Go ahead and smash that like button. I got no notes. I got no train of thought. I've got no agenda. I got no plan tonight. It's the bye week, and what's it called? Apathy has set in. Is that right, Dauber? Check my grammar.
Yeah. Apathy
has set in. Who we got hanging out in the live chat? We got Lumpy. What's going on, Lumpy? Tanner Denton's hanging out. Bryant Rockwell, IC86. John Frazier, a little bit 19 says button is smashed. Les Wadley's hanging out. St. Louis is hanging out. Guys, thanks for joining us again. Yeah, smash the like button, share out the link. Les Wadley says thoughts on guys leaving. What would you guys think of that? I honestly thought more people would be transferring out than there actually are, to be honest with you.
I think it's trimming dead weight. You know, it's guys that aren't playing. They've either been passed by with younger guys. It's a lot of butch guys that maybe are the ones that Pruitt referred to at the end of last year who weren't doing it right. Robert Craig, I think just said not Pruitt guys leaving, and I think that's kind of the key right here.
Jones
guys,
is though, right? Jaquez Jones.
I
believe he a Pruitt recruit.
I believe so.
Yeah,
but
which Reed and Ignat weren't. You know, they were Butch Jones. But
right.
I mean, it's obvious that that obviously that they felt like that they weren't going to outplay Toto, and obviously that they're not, or whatever his name is, Henry T. I mean, I was listening to a little bit of Swain. He was saying, you could look at it both ways. Is it really trimming dead weight, or now you're going to be limited, and can you even get a good look during practice because you're asking walk-ons to basically fill those positions for practice and stuff. So, I mean, it's never anything that you want to see, but I mean, all of this is unprecedented in college football now with this four game and red shirt rule. I mean, basically it's just free agency. After four games at this point in time. I mean, look what that quarterback from Houston's doing. I mean, he's declared or saying that he's going to redshirt the rest of the year and then come back for his fifth year to try to help the team. Supposedly is what Holgerson's saying down there. So it's kind of crazy. This red shirt rule in theory, I think this 4 game. In theory, I think it sounds good, but it almost like that the NCAA really didn't think this out and see, what all that these kids are going to be doing, because what I hate about it is it really gives these kids an out when times get tough, and, basically they're like, well, forget this, I'm just going to transfer out. But, do I think that Tennessee loses anything from those fellas that transferred out? No, I don't.
I don't know. I don't know what my thoughts are. I think being able to transfer for personal reasons, family reasons, all that makes sense. But, a lot of the guys in the live chat are talking about these guys don't want to compete. And if you don't think you can play, you should consider that before you sign the dotted line to come to Tennessee to play football. And it's just, is it a generational thing? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Why are they so? It's soft to me. It's soft.
I'll tell you this. If they're leaving because they're not getting playing time, I don't want them on my team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's not the mentality they need to have. And I think that's I'm going to go ahead and go there. I think that's a lot of the issue right now with Garantano. He doesn't have that fire. He doesn't have that drive, that intensity. He looks lost out there. I mean, it's things that we're seeing you expect from a freshman, not a guy with experience that he has.
Pecan brings up a good question. I saw politicians and I was like, what? We're not going to read this. What are your thoughts on some of these politicians trying to set it up to allow college athletes to make money on their name? I don't know what I think about. I kind of go back and forth on this. Part of me gets it, man. And for the reason of, listen, they are getting a free education. I get that. But at the same time, look at the millions and millions of dollars that these schools are making off of these kids. And, I know they get some type of allowance and their school's paid for and all that stuff. But still, you're talking about hundreds or thousands of dollars compared to millions.
Look at the millions of dollars that these coaches are getting paid, to coach these kids, I mean, and these kids are the ones out there that's putting their body on the line, and their health.
On the flip side of that, though, I mean, we're talking about amateur athletes. So you start getting into that question, and like I said, I'm torn. I don't know what I really think about it. At what point do you say, well, high school athletes are out there putting their body on the line too? What's the difference other than the millions of dollars that the schools are pocketing? I mean, I guess that's a big difference.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if you look at it that way, certainly, college athletics is supposed to be amateur athletes, but, is anyone seriously going to kid themselves and say that these kids aren't getting paid, right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and that's been going on for years now.
Long time.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of that's under the table. So to speak, but, I mean, these kids are getting paid and, I've said it on here many times. The NCAA is an absolute joke of an organization. I mean, it's just a shoddy. Just I mean, all they're after is the dollar. I mean, that's all that they're after. I mean, they have proven that time and time again, and they could give rat's hind end about these college athletes. I mean, they could absolutely. So my opinion is yes, pay them, because if you're going to pay these coaches, these crazy amount of money to coach them, then I'm for paying them. Might as well at least give them some money back for what they're putting in, and agree. And I do agree. They are getting a full ride, and they're getting their college paid for, and that's fine and dandy. But like you said, I mean, how much are they really getting there? $60,000-$70,000 maybe, or something like that. I mean, versus, I mean, just think about the money that just Tennessee alone has spent on coaches in the last 12 years, and
still
are still paying.
Yeah.
And still spending millions and millions of dollars that they've just wasted on these crap coaches, and then all these players that's went through that program in the last 12 years that are probably medically they're in rough shape. Some of them probably are, and I get nobody's got a gun to their head saying that you have to play college football. I mean, I certainly understand that's a choice too. But I have no problem with giving them some money.
A lot of guys in the live chat are going back and forth on this. David Newcomb, sorry, I'm terrible. How will you regulate the money though? And I get it. And somebody else was saying, how do you differ between you're a player at Alabama, how much you getting paid there versus you play for Memphis, how much you getting paid there. There's so many issues that go into this that would make it very, very difficult to work out the fine details. So I don't know.
Yeah, but do you not think that the players at Alabama are probably getting more? And I'm not necessarily talking money, but I just think that that's just the thing. That caliber of athlete is going to demand more money. And take some of the money that these conferences are getting. With these TV contracts and paying these all of these. CEOs and the Skanky or Shanky, whatever his name is down there, and the commissioner of the SEC. I'm sure he's bankrolling it, off of these kids and stuff like that. So share that. There's money out there. I mean these universities right now with these TV contracts and this SEC network and everything. Don't kid yourself if they're not absolutely making hand over fist, because they are.
Oh yeah, it's big time business, and that's why they're so strict, and the rules that they make benefit themselves. It's set up that way for them.
And David Newcomb, I certainly respect your comments there and stuff, and trust me, up until 5 years ago, I was the same way. But I'm 100% feel like that the NCAA cares nothing about these student athletes, and they are willing and enabling and allowing these schools to pay these kids under the table just so that they can continue to say that it's an amateur athletic event when it's not. It's not. So whether or not that it all comes out, who knows what'll end up happening. But I just want UT to win some football games. That's all I care about.
Yeah, it's a sad day when we're sitting here talking about paying college athletes and complete random crap. We might as well talk about pork butts and Foster's beer. I don't know. It's depressing, man. I've not listened to any sports radio this week. I've not hardly been on VolQuest. I did see a few things. We were joking before we went on air that Juwan Jennings is going to be the quarterback against Georgia. So we have a new quarterback moving forward. Listen, we've settled down. Emotions, I think, have calmed. It's Wednesday. We've had a few days to ponder on this thing. Where are we at? There's two things that have lit up the comment section this week. And I'm not just talking disagreements. I've had some good disagreements with listeners this week. Timothy Bradley being one of them. That was on Facebook. It wasn't even in the comment section.
No, Tim. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it's a good civil disagreement. There's nothing wrong with having different opinions. But, man, there is some angry people in the comment section over two things. Quarterback controversy. Do you fire Jeremy Pruitt or do you not? Those are the two hot topics this week in our comment section. Should we? What do you guys want to touch on first? You want to talk about quarterback play or Jeremy Pruitt and the coaching staff in general? Dauber, pick one.
I mean, it's 20 years of pent up frustration, and nobody has an answer, and that's what it is. I think I say we go to Pruitt. Let's talk on that. Personally, I think that firing him right now is a huge mistake. You can't get yourself out of a hole if you keep digging, and the hole we're in is because we've moved from coach to coach to coach, and through that there's been we've fallen behind in recruiting. We've kind of lost our way with coaching philosophies. Butch Jones' idea of recruiting was smaller, faster guys which listen, hey, that may have worked at Cincinnati or Central Michigan, but didn't in the SEC. We're playing catch up right now, and if we just end it and try to start over again, that puts us that much further behind.
Hopkins Lax fan has a $5 super chat here. Thank you so much for the support. We definitely appreciate it. Anybody that's new to the show, what is a super chat? It's a way you can have, there's a lot of you in here. You can definitely have your comment read on air, and we'll read it. We'll discuss it. I'm going to try to do a better job going forward. I cut you guys off so much last week, trying to get those in. Even if I let them build up, I'm going to let them build, try to get them into the flow of the show, because it is difficult. So that's what we're going to work on moving forward. But Hopkins Lax fan says JP speaks for the people. I will bankroll your campaign to be the next AD of the Vols. By the way, your show rocks in Maryland. Thanks again for the super chat. Thanks for Hopkins. The support. Thanks for the comment. And JP's going to speak for the people here in just a second. I want me and Dauber seem to be of the same camp. I don't see how you fire Pruitt now. And my big point that I was bad to just get angry this week and just say, you can't do that. It's stupid. You cannot fire him. The point I want to bring up tonight is, look, we go back to the season preview. We go back to the offseason talking about Jeremy Pruitt. Even when he was hired, we all were in agreement as a fan base. This is a 3 to 5 year job. Well, we're not even halfway through year 2, and we're saying it's time to fire him. Let's all put emotions aside and let's look at the facts. We knew it was going to take longer than 2 years. Now, on the flip side of that, can you question him? Because what's funny is I've defended both sides of this argument with angry people on both sides. That's the funny part. The flip side of that is you can't forgive a loss to Georgia State. You can't forgive it. Vanderbilt's hard to forgive. There's a lot of questionable things, which is why I continue to sit in the middle and ride that fence and say the jury is still out. I don't know. JP, Hopkins Lax fan says you speak for the people. So where do you stand on this Jeremy Pruitt situation?
I mean, I agree that, and like we've talked about on here, I mean, Tennessee does not need a new coaching search. It's the last thing that the program needs. We need some stability. We felt like that we were finally getting that, with the strength and conditioning and, with Pruitt and bringing in this, this high dollar coaching staff that he brought in, and the upgrades with Chaney this year, and bringing Ansley over, who has a strong reputation, and all that, and it is so, but what killed this momentum was the total lack of coaching and preparing for that Georgia State game. And yes, I understand that it's just one game, but Tennessee program is not in a position to be able to lose a football game like that. I mean,
I mean, that's we talked about it before. You've got to win the games you should win.
Yeah. So I feel like that one game cost Pruitt a lot of equity. Certainly he has with the fan base. I mean, he certainly has. And then the fact that Garantano has came out, and for whatever reason he's playing worse this year. After that game Saturday, there were stats coming out, and in Pruitt's last 3 SEC games, the end of the year last year versus Missouri, and then Vanderbilt, and then Saturday against Florida, Tennessee's been outscored 122-33. So let that sink in. I'm just trying to see, we are supposed to be building and rebuilding, and I guess I'm just having trouble seeing where any building is going. And yes, I know that there is some positives. I think the offensive line has played better this year, and I also think that we certainly have some true freshmen, Henry T. Crouch, Warren Burrell, Darnell Wright Morris, those kids are certainly going to be what we hope leads us back to where we're at least being competitive, because Tennessee just needs to try to be competitive with the likes of Vanderbilt and Kentucky and South Carolina and Missouri. It's an absolute pipe dream for us to be able to compete with Georgia and Bama right now. It is. But my fear is underneath Pruitt. I mean, I'm just having a hard time finding any kind of positives that's coming out of it. The bad part is Tennessee's football program is in rough shape, and we got not a first year head coach, but we've got a new head coach that has never been a head coach before, and he's trying to learn how to be a head coach with a roster that's not very good, along with playing in the toughest conference in college football. I mean, look at the upcoming schedule, or starting last Saturday with Florida. So Pruitt has an opportunity. If he can somehow turn this team around and get Garantano playing halfway decent, and we can salvage maybe four wins, I definitely think that Jeremy Pruitt's back next year. I'm telling you, all bets are off at 1-11 and 2-10. I mean, I honestly believe that. Because you talk about a mass exodus of support. And then at that point in time, if we have assistant coaches leave at the end of the year, what kind of assistant coach worth their salt is going to sign up to coach with Jeremy Pruitt in year 3, knowing that if he probably doesn't make a bowl game, that he's out the door. So
let's look at this question. Michael Abbott brings up, he says it's a dumb question. I think it's a good question. How does a fired coach, Fulmer, become an AD? I never heard how that happened. Is that an asset or a problem? Well, there was obviously the coaching search, Schiano hired, getting shut down, all that stuff was a train wreck. So I think Fulmer was just in the right place at the right time to slide in. And listen, every Tennessee fan, not every, most, 99% love Fulmer. He, especially our age and our generation, we look back, that was our coach, man. That was the guy that was walking the sidelines. That's a guy that brought a national championship, which is something that we may never see again in our lifetime. And we will always remember that Coach Fulmer was walking the sidelines. I'll never forget, man, when he lost the job, it messed with me emotionally, man. That was my coach of my team.
And especially the way it happened.
Yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow. But that said, there are some people that say he is cutthroat and he will stab anybody in the back to get a leg up on something. So listen, there's a good article came out this week, and we kind of joked about it before Fulmer taking over as the head coach. What happens when Fulmer lets Pruitt get through the meat of the schedule and says, I'm going to step in as the interim, and then he finds a way to win the back end of the schedule that's a little softer? And this whole thing comes full circle, Game of Thrones style, and Fulmer slides back in there. It's funny, but it's almost so funny because you can see it happening. Am I crazy? Dauber, am I crazy?
Yeah.
This super chat kind of fits in with where we're at here. Walter Miller, $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. I know that's a generic answer that I always say, but it's extremely humbling. We talked about it off air a lot after this past Saturday. It is so humbling that you guys throw your money our way to support the show, support us for what we're doing here. Walter Miller says, I have a subject. When y'all get past this subject, is there still a hangover from the way Fulmer was fired with the top drawer coaching talent? And I'll add on to the end of that. What would it do if you fired Pruitt halfway through year 2? It's only going to make that worse.
Yeah. I mean, we just talked about it, the way everything went down with Fulmer. And I mean, you could even go back to the way Fulmer took the job. And like you said, a little bit kind of backdoor cutthroat, taking over for Johnny Majors when Majors was dealing with medical issues, and then stepping in, winning, rallying support for him, and just sort of usurped him. But yeah, I don't know. I think the program has been in limbo since then. You go out and you gamble on an unknown in Kiffin, kind of looking for the next big thing. He brought his dad with him. You're sort of riding the coattails of his dad. He bolts after a year, and then you got Dooley, which I still question that. I mean, riding the coattails of his dad for sure, and his name, because he had a losing record at La Tech. We've talked about it before.
How did we buy into that? It makes no sense.
No, I mean that's where the program took a bad turn, was gambling on these guys, coach after coach after coach, and we've just not recovered. We've, like I said, we've gotten behind in recruiting. The talent has dropped off. Other teams have their bar has raised up when we've dropped, and it's leveled the playing field for us, and we've actually been surpassed by teams.
So what happens though? I mean, it's obvious that so far in Jeremy Pruitt's first 16 games as coach that things aren't going well, and here we are on our fourth head coach since Fulmer was let go. You
can do one or two things. You can fire Pruitt, and you can take another gamble, throw money at a coordinator, bring him in. But at this point, can you even do that? Can you pay Butch Jones' buyout, Jeremy Pruitt's buyout, gamble on another coach? So then your only other option is to give Pruitt time, let him get rid of the cancer. We all know it's there. A lot of the people that hate on Tu is because not just his play on the field, but his mindset. They say he's soft. You got to cut out the cancer, and you got to give Pruitt time to do it. But it comes full circle. We talk about it all the time. How can you recruit and build a program when you can't win? When you have losses like Georgia State, and not even the Georgia State loss or the Vanderbilt loss, but when you're not even competing with Florida. That I don't care what all the Florida trolls say in the comments. It's a Florida team that's not only not very good, did not play good on Saturday, and Tennessee got blown out by them.
We forced 3 turnovers and still got beat by 31 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Of course, we had 4, so, they was +1, but still, But, I mean, I guess my thoughts are, though, apathy's already set in. I mean, this is not like that this is the first coach after Fulmer or Kiffin.
Right.
This is not Dooley when everybody thought that Tennessee was only 3 or 4 years removed from playing in the SEC championship game like 2007. This is 12 years later, and we're worse now, obviously 12 years later than we were. I mean, this is the worst shape that Tennessee football has ever been in. I mean, the absolute worst. So, at that point in time, how much more does this fan base continue to hang on? Because, I mean, what did they have in the stands? And I get it, it was UT Chattanooga, but, what's going to happen November 3rd or whatever date it is, if we're sitting there at 1-7 and UAB comes to town, what is Neyland Stadium going to look like on that game day?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still pretty full, because look at the live chat right now. We got 105 people hanging out with 3 average dudes that just like to talk about UT football on a random freaking Wednesday night. And there's 100 people in here hanging out talking Tennessee football with us. You know why? Because this is one of the most passionate fan bases in the country.
Yeah, which you might be right there, because what is it? Probably about 75% of the tickets, in Neyland Stadium are season tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, golly.
Yeah, so if somebody doesn't go, they're going to give the ticket to somebody that wants to go.
Yeah.
That stadium is
so.
Look at.
But
after they lost to Georgia State, you would think BYU would be empty. But not only is it full, but it's rocking. It's rocking.
I mean, that's how
Chattanooga.
bad that this fan base wants
Yeah.
to be competitive.
We want to win. We want to win.
You talk about what will Neyland look like. I read something today. There's a movement right now by Georgia fans to checker Neyland red and black.
Red and black, yeah.
And I mean, I would hate to see.
It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. There'll be a lot of Georgia fans there. You're not going to checker Neyland from another team. It ain't going to happen.
I don't think it will.
No, there's no way that they could coordinate that. I mean,
Tracy,
they would have to.
Tracy
buy
Brown says y'all are
anything
anything but average. I appreciate that, Tracy.
They're not going to do that, but yeah, there's going to be a ton of Georgia fans there. I mean, ton of Georgia fans.
They took over South Bend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Couple years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, they're going to be there. I mean, there's no doubt. You know, it'll probably be 60-40, if not 50-50 probably, you know. Yeah. But you know, I guess, you know, okay, so we're sitting here at the end of the season and we're 2-10, 3-9, you know, and then look for 2020, you know, ticket sales, you know, that's when you're going to see a mass exodus of support right there, you know. Yeah. So then what happens, you know, and then trying to recruit, you know, I'm telling you, if Pruitt and that coaching staff is not trying to get some backup options currently right now for the 2019 class, then they're going to be in a world of hurt, because he's absolutely out of touch with reality if he thinks that he's going to go 2-10 and 3-9 and hang on to some of the kids that he's got committed, let alone sign the other ones that, you know, up until the season started, that Tennessee felt like that they were very, very good in with, because it's not going to happen, you know. I mean, and, you know, can you blame the kid? Because, you know, they would be signing with Tennessee, basically saying, well, you know, Pruitt's got basically one year to turn it around, or I'm going to be playing for a new coach. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's at play. And again, the last thing that the University of Tennessee needs is a new coach next year. That is the absolute last thing that this program needs. But Pruitt, he's going to have to win some football games. I mean, that's just the bottom line. That is the nature of the business. That's why that you're a head coach, is to win football games. And he's got to find a way to do it.
All the trolls in the comments just ignored that last little thing you put there. They're just going to eat you alive saying you want Pruitt fired. So just get ready for it.
I don't want Pruitt fired. I don't, you know, because I feel like that it does nothing but hurt Tennessee even more. But at some point in time, you know, I mean, we're in this vicious cycle of just, you know, rinse and repeat. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine last night, and you know, if Tennessee, and I know that this is in simple terms, and I know that you still have to get somebody to come and agree to coach. And I know that there's not a lot of just absolute slam dunks out there. But if Tennessee is willing to pay Rick Barnes $6 million a year to coach a basketball program that's never made it to a Final Four, then why are we not willing to pay $8, $9, $10 million a year for a head football coach that's proven? And again, I'm not saying that you can just throw money out there and they will come, but why not try? Make them say, sorry, Tennessee, but I'm not interested in accepting your $10 million a year to be head football coach.
Well, Mike Gundy's already said no, 3 times? And he's not even.
But it was $7 million.
Yeah, but I don't even think that's.
Oh, that was way overpaying for what?
I don't know that Gundy would have been successful here. Maybe he would have. I don't know.
Yeah, and what the administration down there is going to have to realize is, yes, we are going to have to overpay if the time comes that Jeremy Pruitt is relieved of his duties as head coach of the University of Tennessee. If that administration really wants to get serious about it, then they are going to have to acknowledge the just the overall incompetence that has went on down there for the last 10, 12 years. And they're going to have to acknowledge that they're going to have to way overpay a qualified candidate to get them to come. But, I don't understand why that we continue to hire these coaches and pay these ridiculous buyouts. In the end, you would have to come out better. And going back on this Rick Barnes thing, and I was ecstatic that Tennessee kept Rick Barnes. I was like shaking in my shoes, thinking, hear this, he's built this program up, and now he's going to jet to UCLA, and Tennessee's going to be back to where that they typically are. So I was all for paying Rick Barnes that $6 million. But Thompson Bowling Arena seats 25,000 people.
Something like that.
Neyland Stadium seats 100,000 people. Yeah. So you got 4 times the opportunity of revenue there, and you can pay a basketball coach $6 million a year, but you're not willing to pay a football coach. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And again, you can't force somebody, but by gosh, I would be making them tell me no with astronomical amount of money.
Listen, JJ Banks brings up a good point. How do we really know who all was actually interviewed and offered?
We don't know. We're never going to know that. Only the powers that be are going to know that. We know what leaks.
Yeah, he asks. Weren't Dooley and Butch and Pruitt all down the list of candidates supposedly that we heard? And that's, I mean, I think we've cheaped out, and I think we've settled for guys. And I know JP and I have talked about this off air. The SEC, Tennessee isn't a place that you should be cutting your teeth as a head coach. We talked about it. Pruitt, the jury's still out on Pruitt. He's a second-year coach, but we're at a point where we're giving guys their first opportunity as a head coach because nobody else will come here. Right.
So to come full circle, what happens if you fire Jeremy Pruitt midway through his second season? Do you think you can't get proven head coaches to come here? Now you're going to have trouble getting an offensive coordinator to come here.
Yeah.
Let me hit this super chat. Pecan, it's been floating here for a while, says, I'm complicit with a 2-win season if our next win is ruining Georgia or Alabama's season. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. But there's no chance. I don't know what else to say. There's no chance.
If that were to happen, I mean,
none.
There was somebody that I saw had a stat, and I didn't see it at Saturday's game on TV, but ESPN had that pro football, whatever they do, and it had Tennessee's chances to win the next 4 games, including that Florida game, and they actually had Tennessee at 12% for the Georgia game, and I'm like 12%.
I think it was.
And it was 2% for the Bama game. And I'm like
38 for the Mississippi State game.
Yeah. I'm like, go ahead and put that like at 0.1% for the Georgia and Bama game, because it ain't happening as much as I would love for it to happen. That's that right there. Georgia is another 40 plus point loss underneath Pruitt's belt, and Alabama with that offense, I mean, they could just name their score. Nick Saban could score 100 points coming up if he wanted to.
I told a guy at work today that we could start playing the Georgia game this Saturday without them there,
and we still wouldn't catch up.
And we close game.
Yeah.
Tanner Denton says, I like the optimism. Listen, man, I put on the biggest show possible during the Florida Pick'ems, acting like I believed. As soon as we went off air, I said, you guys know that was a bunch of bullcrap, right? They're like, yeah. But hey, man, sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. We're going to get into the quarterback talk. Before we do, I want to talk about it. We decided to give away a free T-shirt of your choice. So everybody that gave a super chat on Saturday, whether you were hanging out in the tailgate show or the post-game show, your name was entered into the random generator. And I've not seen him in the live chat tonight, but Troy Sharp. Troy Sharp, you are the winner.
Congrats, Troy.
So you get a free T-shirt of your choice. It can either be the Talkin VAWLS logo shirt or the Talkin VAWLS Egghead cartoon T-shirt. So send us a message on Twitter or Facebook, either one. We'll work out the details as far as what shirt you want, what size you want. We'll get your address, all those good details. So Troy Sharp, you are the winner. Let us know, which also I'm going to just, while we're talking T-shirts, I'm going to keep it going here. Let me find it. Where's it at? The Talkin VAWLS Egghead cartoon shirt. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Talkin VAWLS Egghead T-shirt. It ends tonight. Tonight at midnight. The shirt is gone. And yeah, some of you called me out and said, it's not gone. I can still order it. What they do is this campaign ends. So after it ends, it will sit dead until another person orders a T-shirt. Once you order that shirt, it'll start a new campaign. But what that means is you're going to have to wait like 4 weeks before your shirt will ship. So if you want to get the Talkin VAWLS Egghead cartoon featuring, look at it. Come on. It's got Boogie hiding behind the microphone, Dauber rocking that beard, and JP. We think it's JP under the bag. We're not 100% certain. But if you want this shirt, it will be shipping around October the 3rd. Yeah, right here. It says orders will start shipping around October the 3rd. Super great quality, really soft, good T-shirts. So if you want to get in on that, if not, you can wait because all the links are in the description. They'll stick around all season long. But I'm just telling you guys, you won't have to wait. It'll ship out October the 3rd. So check that out if you are interested.
We got somebody wanting us to autograph a shirt. Wow. They don't even know that I can't even spell my own name.
Who wants us to autograph a shirt?
JJ Banks, it looks like.
JJ Banks. I'd autograph a shirt. We're waiting to run into some of you guys in public. Live free or die, random generator. I would have donated a penny if I knew that.
Yeah.
You were trying to trick the system. I told you it was going to be random. I told you it was going to be random, man. I'll just shoot straight with you guys. Before we went live, I was like, do we just give it to Live Free or Die? He gave us $20. We can't do that. We're running a good family program here. We
got Tanner. Tanner didn't want to know if we do a basketball podcast. I mean, I'm game for it. We were supposed to last year, and then our main.
Freaking Armaine. All you guys loving Armaine. He stabbed us in the back.
He bailed. So, I'm up for it. I mean, I don't know if Dauber and Boogie, I know Boogie's not much of a basketball, but
But what I can do is I can set up the channel where if you and Dauber want to do it, just the two of you, I can set you up so you can live stream to the channel. So I don't even have to do it. I can just get you guys set up. And maybe if you guys wanted to do it just once a week, stick with Wednesday nights, whatever you guys want to do. Listen, a lot of that depends on you guys over here in the live chat. Is it what you want? We see, several of you guys do want it and you're asking for it. And maybe it's one of those things where I can try. Listen, Comic Cast sucks the life out of me. We've been doing that for 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that. Every Sunday, I've never missed an episode. So it's tough for me to podcast 2 to 3 nights a week. But if you guys are interested, definitely let us know. Leave a comment once this is posted. And
we might have to move it to Thursday nights or something because a lot of times basketball games are on Tuesday and Wednesday. So
we can do whatever. We just need to find a consistent time if you guys are committed to do it. St. Louis says I'm gonna have to order me a shirt. Do it, man. Get in there and order a shirt. Somebody did. I saw it was in the comments. Said you guys need a shirt with Armaine on it. I said, well, Armaine needs to be on the freaking show before he can be on a T-shirt. But then I got a good idea kicking around up here in the old noggin. If Armaine ever comes back, I'll share it with you guys off air. Something else, man. If you guys want different shirts, different designs, we just have the 2 right now. But if you guys want them, we'll pump them out. I'm a T-shirt guy. I got a closet full of freaking T-shirts. Rocking my Tennessee Smokies shirt tonight.
Speaking of basketball, I got Grant Williams autographed rookie card in the mail today and gave it to my nephew. So he ran over here and got it after I got home from work, and he kissed it. So he's carrying it around in his pocket. Probably the corners are probably all mangled by now. But
what'd you do? Get it on eBay or somewhere?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Got it on eBay. Pretty sweet looking card.
My wife just sent me a text and said, "How do you go from 37 in the live chat to over 100?" I'm glad
because we got the best fans in the world.
I'm glad she's stalking me, and she's like making sure I'm in my office and not doing something stupid. All right, let's get to oh, you guys are laughing at me in the live chat. Let's get to the controversial conversation of quarterback. Somebody up here in the live chat said, when are they going to put Juwan Jennings in at quarterback?
That's right.
Listen, you guys know where I stand. You know what my opinion is. I think the coaches know who the best quarterback on this team is, and I think that's why he continues to start. JP sent a text last night while I'm trying to go to sleep and says, "Two's taking reps with the ones." And I think I sent something back, smart Alex, saying, "Well, yeah, no kidding, because he's the starting quarterback." This is where I'm at, though. I'm to the point. You guys have made some good points. It's not about who's better right now. It's what's the potential for the future. But I'll support whoever they roll out, man. But I think it's got to be either 2 or 18. I don't think Shrout doesn't even need to be in the conversation.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've never really seen enough of either one of them, you know?
Yeah, you saw enough of 18 on Saturday to say they need to freaking put 2 back in.
Yeah, but you know, I was reading some stuff on that, and Chaney didn't do him any favors at all. What, he got 14 snaps and 11 of them were pass plays. I mean, how do you do that with a true freshman playing in his first road game at Florida? So
yeah,
with that, and I mean he came out and he looked pretty decent, and then next thing I don't know if he was throwing it at the water boy or the cheerleaders, because they was more likely to catch it than the players were. So, I mean, at this point in time, my thing with Garantano, and I've told both of you all, off the air, is I just don't think he's a winner. I don't think that he has that attitude as a quarterback. You have to have some cockiness to you. You have to have some dog in you. And he don't have it, and
18 does.
He shows
what I told you guys.
Zero emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing over there. I mean, he looks like he's not even interested. And I don't believe that, because I'm sure that he is putting in a ton of work, and I'm sure that he's trying with all of his might, but he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And in my opinion, there's no chance of winning, probably these next 3 ball games. I mean, I guess you could argue that we could beat Mississippi State somehow, but definitely Georgia and Bama, so, I'm all for trying it. I mean, what does it matter if we get blown out by 30 points or 40? I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Pecan brought up another good point. Could it be Winky that's the problem? I know I've read
he
some
is
stuff.
The quarterback coach. So.
Yeah, I read some stuff. Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson wasn't too high on Winky at his time with the Rams, and he publicly questioned his coaching ability. And Winky leaves, and Goff takes off after his first year, after his rookie season. After Winky leaves, it's gosh, I don't know. I mean, we don't expect the regression, though. There have been times where 2 has looked good, and then like I said, he just looks lost now. He gets out there, he's not seeing the field, he's not seeing defenders. He's throwing into double and triple coverage, forcing the ball to receivers that aren't open. And JJ Banks right there, number 1 dual threat quarterback out of high school. He's not a dual threat. The kid cannot run. He doesn't have the clock in his head. He doesn't feel the pressure. He doesn't feel the pocket. If he's sitting there with a good pocket, he panics, and it's just I don't even know where to go on this. I mean, I'm going to support whoever's under center, but I tell you, if they trot Maurer out there, I don't have a problem with it.
Sarah Sharp says Winky isn't the problem. You can't coach up garbage. JG wasn't garbage. He's regressed. He's gotten worse. He looks so good at times, and has gotten worse. And I don't understand it, man.
And I don't either, because we got an offensive coordinator that's known to being able to develop quarterbacks. I mean, it doesn't make a lick of sense at all.
Do you guys think that the schemes and the play calling is over these guys? Do you think they're just not grasping stuff?
Well, this is the opposite. This is jumping to the defense, but what kills me is Pruitt. It's a simple defense. It's a simple defense. It's a simple defense. They can't get the call in because it's a complex defense. What? What are you talking about? You've been preaching how simple your defense is. So who knows? Who knows on this?
Well,
on the offensive side of the ball.
My problem with Garantano is he's in his fourth year, and I understand.
It makes no sense,
and somebody here was asking about, could it be that he's had, multiple OCs? But look how Alabama goes through offensive coordinators, because every year, or every two years, their OC's poached as a head coach,
but look at what they've got.
I understand, but they still have to make the plays.
And that's everything comes down to execution. And a game plan and play calls are only as good as the execution.
Exactly. Look at the play call that Chaney drew up to DWA.
Don't even talk about that.
How does Garantano miss that throw? He wasn't pressured.
Nerves.
Had time.
Nerves.
Well, then
he's so freaked out that somebody's open that he can't make the play.
Well, then he needs to sit on the bench. Then,
but when we start going down this route, I'm getting angry. I'm trying to take a breath. You sent that stupid GIF or GIF, whatever people call it, of him missing that throw. I'm like, well, do I need to get the game film out and send you all the throws that 18 threw into triple coverage? Or you just said yourself he's throwing it in the stands or to the water boy? That's my problem. Is 18's not much better. So, let's put him in and let him develop. But, man, hating on JG for missing it. You think he did it on purpose?
No. Have you seen the breakdown of the play, though? Have you seen his feet and how he's not even lined up?
I think he's terrified. I think something is wrong with that kid. And JD hit the nail on the head.
Beyond repair.
Yeah. It happened at the end of last year. We've not seen the same.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, he
even doesn't know how to pronounce his name anymore because he's messed up in the head.
I know it. Whatever happened to him in that Missouri game, he's not been right at all.
Now, I was talking with a buddy at work today, and he threw out something that he had seen earlier in the week. Said that Butch Jones is interested in the Rutgers job.
Well, there you go, Garantano.
So
he'll go up there and throw for 300 yards a game, 5 touchdowns, and be a freaking world beater and get drafted to the NFL just like every other Tennessee quarterback does.
As Butch Jones is head coach, I don't see that happening.
Look
watch it happen. Look at
that would be the most Tennessee thing ever.
The most Tennessee thing ever would be for them to beat Georgia or Alabama and lose every other game. That's Tennessee going to Tennessee.
At this point in time, I'd take it.
We'll have a party right here on Talkin VAWLS Live.
Did you guys see Dormandy? His stats? I think he was top 5 passing yards this week. Was he Central Michigan?
Is he still in college?
Was it? I think so. Didn't he grad transfer?
Dormandy? He went to Houston and couldn't win the job there. So maybe he is.
I'm pretty sure it was Dormandy.
Maybe I'm thinking of Worley.
Peterman.
Worley.
Lord have mercy. Guys, Live Free or Die is just making me feel like a jerk, man. $20 super chat, and he doesn't even say anything. It's just like throwing money at us.
Yeah, he's at Central Michigan.
I hope that Live Free and Die hasn't hacked my bank account. I probably need to, need to check that.
He's just pulling money out of our T-shirt sales. He's like, here, just in the circle. Seriously, dude, thank you for that. We do. I'm not going to keep harping on it,
man.
We do make a sacrifice to take time out of our lives and try to put up content for you guys.
And I think that he's a military, at least Marine. So if
thanks
you
for
are
just make it worse, man.
Yeah. So if that is that's Marines, it looks like. So Live Free or Die. Thank you for your service.
Live Free or Die. To be honest with you, I wanted to give you the shirt, and JP wouldn't let me. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's in charge, not me. That's what happened. JoJo24, Florida Gator fan. He's been hanging out all night, keeping it civil. That's what we like to see here, man. It's fun to interact with you guys. Says he's donating $100 if we beat Georgia or Bama. Why don't you just go ahead and donate money now? You should feel sorry for us like Live Free or Die does. Just throws money at us. For real, we definitely appreciate the support. I don't know what Live Free or Die is saying. You better check your stuff. I can't say what he really said because I don't want to get demonetized.
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen with quarterback? You know, what's your all's take? You know, we got what four minutes here.
I think JG is going to start, and I think we'll see Maurer. Gosh, I hate chucking these kids out here in the meat of this schedule in SEC play. I talked about that at the beginning of the year. You know, open up with Georgia State. Should be over before halftime. We should be getting these guys in, getting game reps. Didn't happen. And that's so the season's gone. I mean, gosh, if Garantano gets hurt, where does that leave us? God.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, with the way he's been playing, I mean, it can't really get much worse. I mean, we had 88 total yards at halftime against Florida. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, I completely understand the argument that JG is probably, you know, as far as talent wise, you know, he probably is the best quarterback down there, but we don't really know that. Honestly, we do not know that.
Robert Craig says he wants to change because he feels like the team is quitting on JG. That's the best thing I saw out of Maurer.
He brought some life.
There was some pep in his step, man. And not just that's, and Pruitt talked about it in the press conference, talking about there's people in your life that have this energy about them. And when you get around them, you start getting that pep in your step. And that's what you need in a quarterback. That's what you need in a leader on the football field. And Garantano just does not have it. It goes back to when the kid threw his shoe in the BYU game. Instead of a fire in his eyes or somebody's eyes, it was Mommy, he threw my shoe. It's a tattletale mindset.
Listen, go back to even before that. We go back to the first time we saw him. Georgia Tech game on the sidelines.
Yeah, he pouted like a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thing that I don't like about him.
It's up here. It's up here.
Yeah, it's a piss poor attitude. It's a me first attitude, and it's, you know, he doesn't have that leadership quality and that fire in him that you need at quarterback, especially quarterback in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it after the Georgia State loss, and you know, the Tim Priest was down there doing the post game show, and they asked him, you know, how he felt he did, and he was like, "Well, I felt I did some things okay. I felt like I played okay." Really, Really? I mean, any darn quarterback that even cares or is worth their salt is going to be absolutely so mad that, losing that football game that they're not going to say anything positive.
Wasn't it the same week the kid from Alabama that transferred out threw like 4 or 5 touchdowns or something? They asked him how he played, and he's like, "It's not good enough."
Yeah, I mean, there is the problem. There is the problem.
Yeah,
and then I can get on. I'm willing to give Pruitt time because we got turds for quarterback. So,
I hope they start Garantano. I hope they play Maurer a little bit. I don't think you throw Maurer to the fire and just let him get wrecked an entire game against Georgia. I don't think that accomplishes anything. Listen, guys, we're about an hour in. We're about to wrap this thing up. Dauber's got some stickers he's going to give away. Go ahead, JP.
Wasn't Josh Dobbs' first career start at Alabama, though?
Yeah, it was.
So,
Wasn't it also Dobbs that you wanted to bench? Speaking of, Pecan says $5 for another super chat from Pecan. You're the man, and I hope we pronounced your name right. And I love penguins, so I like that little logo. But it's like I've stated in here a bunch. Dobbs was mediocre, but he had a spunk and gave the team energy. I loved Josh Dobbs. I did, man. He was one of my – when I think about favorite quarterbacks, I think about Eric Ainge. I think about, obviously, Peyton, Andy Kelly, Casey Clausen. Dobbs is up there, man. He's up there as one of my favorite guys to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a winner, on a losing team. He was a winner. He just had something about him. Like you said, he had a spunk that gave the team energy. But like I said, we're about to wrap this thing up. Dauber's got more stickers he wants to give out. He's going to let you guys know how you can win them. If you guys keep throwing super chats at us like you are, I'm going to keep giving away free T-shirts. I'm already getting peer pressured in freaking text messages from guys in the live chat saying, you need to give that guy a shirt. Well, Robert Craig, you need to send me a $20 super chat. Maybe I will send him a shirt. Spencer Warren's harassing me, wants me to send him a shirt. I'm not Oprah Winfrey. Somebody's got to pay for this microphone.
All right. So we had the Florida contest was total receiving yards for Juwan Jennings. He ended the game with 7 receptions with 73 yards. So we had Sean Calvert was 1 yard off. He put 72 in. So Sean is going to be the overall big winner. But I decided to since we didn't end up winning the game and I couldn't give stickers to everybody in the post game chat. What I did was I made a range of, if you didn't go over, I gave you 10 yards. And if you went over, I gave a 5-yard allowance. So if you were in the 63 to 78, you're going to get some stickers. So Sean Calvert, Sir Kilday, Matthew Whalen, James Byram, Joey Inslee, and Andrew Warren. If you guys can hit us with a message on Twitter or Facebook, DM your address to us. We will get those out to you ASAP. And I was going to do one for the bye week here. Since we're not playing, I thought we'd have a little fun. And I wanted to throw out, want you guys to send either a picture to our Facebook. Go like our Facebook. Search for Talkin VAWLS podcast on Facebook and shoot us a picture there, or go to Twitter at Talkin VAWLS _pod. Send us a picture of your most random or your favorite piece of Tennessee memorabilia, or go with a story or something special to you, and we'll throw out some more stickers to you guys. I got a couple things I was going to show you real quick, just kind of odd and random. How many people do you know that have a full gallon of Tennessee Orange official paint?
Sweet.
I got a whole garage full of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or, I don't either.
Personally, this here is probably, I've got a lot of stuff, here. But
what is this, show and tell?
No.
You guys see my Becky Lynch Funko Pop? I love Becky Lynch. She's my.
Now that right there is sweet, Dauber. That is sweet.
I thought you were talking about my Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that was my dad's 85, the Sugar Vols beating Miami. Reliving some good times here since we're so down in the dumps right now. But that's pretty special to me because that was around the time where I really started kind of getting football, and I would sit and watch games with my dad and my grandfather. So that's pretty near and dear and special to me right there. So yeah, guys, like I said, shoot us some pictures, send us some stories. Let's get some feel good stuff going on in this bye week.
On top of that, if you did pick up a Talkin VAWLS t-shirt and you've got it in the mail already, post a picture of it on Twitter. Tag us at TalkinVAWLS_pod. I want to see those shirts out in the wild. I've not seen any yet. And I'm going to challenge you guys too. If you see one of us in public, come talk to us. I think that'll be the coolest thing ever to interact with you guys live. We did get another $5 super chat while all that was going on. Walter Miller says, "Oh Lord, the Steelers signed Dobbs. Winner." Live Free or Die says, "I'll donate another 20. I want that football in Boogie's background. You're not getting my Peyton Manning Super Bowl MVP autograph football. That's my prized possession." We didn't have any money in our bank account. And when they won that Super Bowl, my wife just said, "Just buy it." Like, you know how you go through like malls in Knoxville, or you'll be certain places and there's like memorabilia shops set up like in the center of the mall. There's so many times, man, that we would see Peyton Manning autograph footballs, and we couldn't afford it. We just could not afford it at the time when we were first married. Just no way possible. They won that Super Bowl, and she's like, "I'm going to bed. I know you're going to sit here and watch QVC. Just order it." And she left the room, and that's when I got the Peyton autograph football. So that's it. I got no more stories for tonight. There's still 79 of you guys lurking around here while we ramble about nonsense as we wrap this thing up. Smash that like button on the way out the door. Takes 2 seconds. A hater hit a thumbs down before we even went live. So stick it to the man. Hit that thumbs up. We would definitely appreciate it. No show on Saturday. We decided to take Saturday off since there isn't a game. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Just a quick reminder, Troy Sharp, you were the winner of a free t-shirt. So either one of you want the logo or you want the cartoon shirt, let me know. We'll get your size. We'll get your address. Obviously, I'll have to order it, get it shipped to me, and then I'll turn around and ship it to you, and we'll go that route. JP, you got anything else you want to add, buddy?
No, I'm actually glad that we're got open date this week.
Me too.
Actually glad. Of course,
I'm
going to
enjoy the day.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Atlanta on a bus trip to see the Falcons and Titans play, which I hate both teams, so I'm just going just for the heck of it. So.
What do you want to go watch the Redskins lose?
Well, the sad part is I already told Brandy that I'd be sitting there at the game in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium at a live NFL game with my phone watching NFL Sunday Ticket following the Redskins game. I guarantee it'll happen.
That is so funny.
How does Jay Gruden and Greg McNusky still have a job? How?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Pathetic. It was pathetic.
Awful. They're awful.
It is the absolute worst football season of my entire life.
We're miserable. Tennessee fans,
we are.
Redskins fans, miserable human beings. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at TalkinVAWLS_pod. For Vols JP. For Diver Greer, my name is Boogie Bentley, and I just got one thing left to say, and that is go Big Orange.
And I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. The songs howl like beat, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated north that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. Black and white headlights pierce the coals, blazing arrows, burning me to the marrow. But fire brings peace as well as it brings fear. You're the only thing I hear, and I want that. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we draw home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl like me.